I'm in team building mode right now. This back half of the year, we just started Q2, of course, and really trying to build the front end of the team. It's funny, when I see people, they're like, "Oh, I love what you're doing," or you must have so much fun. And the short answer is yes. I have a lot of fun because I have a lot of freedom. So fun and freedom go hand in hand for me. But most of my time is spent talking with lawyers, a lot of lawyers. I got lawyers for lots of different things, accountants, finance folk, and recruiting, like doing HR stuff. That's kind of my job as a CEO is building team, building the right team, building the right culture, and then making sure that silos are broken down within the organization. I've made a lot of tuition payments, basically handing over the, how do I say? I don't want to say handing over the culture, but onboarding people and them not being fully bought into the culture yet, and giving them too much control. Let's say like the reins, right? And I've discovered that through hiring people, if I want to build a good peer and a good leader that represents the brand, our ethos, our DNA, I have to spend a lot of time with them. And it just is what it is. And so I think it's important that if you're building something, even if somebody's a savage, even if their resume is like, holy shit, this person's good, like, you got to make sure that you don't detach too quickly and just have trust or faith that this person is going to know what you want and what you're trying to build. I find that it takes 2 years. It takes 2 years to spending time with somebody to have them truly embedded in my organization and not only bought into the culture, but leading with culture in mind. And the two most important things in business for me is culture and brand. Like culture and brand, it's everything for me. And if you have good culture and good brand, and you bring good people on, then they bring good people on. So good people will bring good people, and everybody's looking for something a little bit differently when they're looking for career, right? And it usually has nothing to do with money. If you ask somebody what they're looking for, and of course I've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not 1,000 employees over the years. I think we stand somewhere around maybe 400 to 500 people, but not one of those people, I bet if you ask them what's the most important thing when it comes to your job and your career, they're going to say how much money I make. Like that isn't, and think about that yourself, right? Is that the first thing you're going to say? I highly doubt it. Money can't buy happiness. So most people are looking for fulfillment. They're looking to be part of a team, a community. And this is like the basis for, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I think is a pretty good model if you're not familiar with it. I'm not going to go through it all, but like love and belonging and community is just so damn important. Whether you're at the top of the world, or it doesn't even matter. I don't care what class level you're at. Everybody's looking for that. That's human. It's human nature. And it's like the foundation, like one of the first things you need in a journey to self-actualize. Look this up. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Kip Folks, one of my business partners and one of my best friends, he turned me on to this, and it's a really intriguing, like almost like a psychological profile. or the journey of a human. Like, you can't achieve these things if you don't first get these things, right? The foundational things. And so folks they're looking to be part of something. They're looking to be part of a good culture. People don't want to just go through the motions. They want to have a voice. They want to be part of the conversation. When they walk away at the end of the day, they want to feel fulfillment in some sorts and be part of a team and a community. And I just think that's really a really important call out. And that's why, for me, culture is the most important. And it's something that I will never sacrifice. And I've come close in the past. I've come very, very close to sacrificing culture. Luckily, the team that I built over the years, when it got away from me, they helped me rein it back in. They checked me. They asked the questions. They pressed me. Are we losing ourselves to this thing or that thing? Are we losing ourselves? Are we losing our culture because this initiative is even though it's winning at all costs, it's gonna hurt us more than help us. And having a good team around you and people that aren't agreeable all the time with your ideas, but challenge your ideas and bring different opinions to the table, like, that's really, really important. It's really important not to surround yourself with a bunch of yes men and women. Like, everybody, like, oh, you say something, they're all like, yeah, let's do that. And it's always good to have alignment, right? And if you have alignment around the culture and the vision and the brand, you're probably going to get a lot of agreeable people. But the pathway to get there, can shift and change and morph. And when you bring good people on, they want to be part of that. You just don't want them to show up and go through the motions. Like, that is not how to scale a business. The last thing you want is an echo chamber around your own ideas. It won't help in the long term. So I just got to the factory this morning, but my first 4 employees are still my first 4 employees. Those folks I spent the most time with, right? Like, I spent years with them. There was just, from 2011 to 2017, there was just a handful of us, and we were all working together. We were sewing stuff together. We were doing customer service together. We were shipping stuff together in our little, basically our fulfillment center was the attic of our little factory. And I still rely on those people to help drive and build culture. It's just really, really important. So just be careful when starting and growing and scaling a business, that you don't allow that to get out of your hands. So it's the simple things, culture. Like, every morning I walk in the back door. I walk in the back door because I want to be seen in the factory. And the first thing I say to the team every morning I walk in is, good morning. And then I get their feedback, good morning. Like, I'm here, I'm not hiding, I'm not walking through the front office, right? Like, I'm too cool to not walk to the factory. Like, the factory is life for Origin. It's absolutely life. And so it's those small things and the consistency of those small things. Let's talk to Jill, because she was employee number 2. One sec. Hi, employee number 2.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
I thought you were supposed to be on vacation.
I am. I had a neck pillow that your wife recommended. I had to come pick it up so I could have it to sleep on.
Oh, gotcha.
This came from Sheldon for Sheldon.
Okay, I'll take that to him. Okay, well, go back on vacation.
I am.
Get out of here. I was literally just talking about culture and talking about, like, our first 4 employees are still with us. And
Your second employee didn't understand culture until you taught me. When you first said that was the most important thing, I kind of laughed to myself, like, yeah, whatever.
In 2000, 12, 13?
13.
2013. And now Jill's never going anywhere.
No, I am not. If he tries to get rid of me, there'll be a problem. Here.
She'll retire from here. She's here forever. Have you seen my wife anywhere? She went that way? Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen her. See ya.
All right. Go back to vacation. See ya. Jeez, terrible. Hey, babe. Jill's here. Now she's gone.
What?
I still told her to go back on vacation.
Why is she here?
She had to pick something up. I was just telling YouTube folk about culture. Thought maybe I could get your 2 cents on why culture is important, and experience with potentially coming close to losing culture. What do you got? You got any words of wisdom for folks?
We've always said that culture was the number one most important thing,
Yeah.
and something that basically is the identity of your brand. And so if you don't have it, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
So we try really hard to incorporate that culture into everything we do. And do you know who this is?
That's a good example of what culture is.
Building culture is.
So what is this?
Do you know who this is? This one?
I don't know who it is, no.
Well, I can't show you on that.
Well, don't show me, but tell me what this
So this
is.
is a Black Belt Award that we give out every month. Nominations come in throughout the company, and then we narrow it down to the 3 top, and then we put it back out there to all our staff to vote on one of the 3 top nominations. And the nominations are people that are that go above and beyond building culture, living into the culture, that are just exemplifying everything that we hold valuable here in our employees.
I won't flip it.
And so this one.
On the other side, there's a name, which I can't, can I show them or no?
No.
I can't show you. Oh, I see who it is. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That person's
So this
been,
person that won this, just the accolades are, this person is always on, always willing to help, never uses "that's not my job," is considered a source, a resource within the organization for everything origin, related to origin products, people, you name it. So she's just super valued in the company, within the team, and we get to honor her this month.
look at this. So Greg, employee number, I think Greg was employee number 2 or 3. His wife makes this sourdough. It's phenomenal. I get 2 loaves a week, but she brings it in for the staff to purchase at the end of the week. If you don't have good culture, people don't feel comfortable doing that. You gotta have that Philotimo. That's what we call it. We call it in Greek is Philotimo. Philotimo. And Origin has a lot of Philotimo. If you want to know what that means, your homework is to go look it up. The other thing about culture is when you think about what factories were, what they provided for communities. Factories provided culture. You had all these different people from different backgrounds, and they melted into the factories. They melted into America's factories early on. And they used to have festivals. They would have a French festival. They would have a Greek festival. They would have an Italian festival. And these festivals brought people together. And these factories brought people together. Those people came to America and they did hard things together. And I just think that right now we're missing the point. It feels to me like America is so divided because we don't respect where each other came from, and we don't respect each other's culture. And part of my hopes is as as we grow Origin and we grow this culture in a global way, that part of that is just reminding people what we once had, and it was good, and we've lost it in a major way. A lot of people just, they don't understand one another. They don't respect and appreciate one another. And when we used to build hard things together, you know, be it footwear and apparel or other things. I mean, even through World War II, when we had to turn on all of America's factories, like, that was amazing to see what we could do, what we could build when everybody came together. So that was the culture. The culture was, you know, everybody's working towards an American dream and their American dream, but it's not individualized. They're all moving the same direction. They're all moving the same direction together. But if you think about like America's abandoned manufacturing communities, you could say in Lewiston, Maine, for instance, you have these big, beautiful churches where people came together. It was just a cultural center, a cultural hub. And the mills are massive. I mean, just the way they laid the granite for the canal systems, there's probably enough granite in those canals to build another great pyramid of Egypt. And folks did that with their hands in daylight.
We are shooting the 1776 gi, which will be launching on Friday.
That's cool.
We're making sure that we have proper placement of the belt on the gi. We got some nice details that customers will definitely enjoy.
That's cool.
So we're pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, so, you know, part of this, you know, I told everybody about you market the problem, you market the fix, and market the marketing. This is me marketing the marketing. So this is badass gi. And this is our new, or not our new, but this is gonna be pearl, or actually it's nano pearl with our spiral wrap cut, right? So you have this really ergonomic cut. It's pretty phenomenal. I'm excited about it. For all you jiu-jitsu geeks out there like me, if you're a jiu-jitsu nerd, this is probably something you ought to get. But some of the photos I didn't like, and so I asked the team to reshoot them. Actually, you tried to Photoshop it first.
I tried to Photoshop it, but we had to do it justice and do it right. So we're just gonna reshoot them.
Reshoot, and that's the great thing about having your own studio, which we didn't have when we started out. We didn't have our own studio, but now we do, and so we can basically, let me see here, we basically have like all our different product, you know, it's not totally organized.
No, it's a work in progress. We're trying to weed out the old, develop a good process of bringing in the new product coming along, and we're getting there.
You got a rack of like different boots and stuff. Yeah, boat shoes, everything. So it is good to have your own studio. It does help for shooting product photography, and there's like a textured background back there and stuff, but yeah, it's a nice space. You know, the reason that I've been thinking about culture is because I watched that documentary last night on American Apparel and the founder of American Apparel, and what a freaking whack job that dude was. The culture that he built was pitting people against one another and creating competition. There was some other sick shit that he did with employees, and he hired a lot of naive kids, and he was able to use techniques of power. What is it, the 48 laws of power or something? Some really disturbing techniques to basically brainwash these kids into doing whatever he wanted to do. But he built a culture where you didn't want to be one to get yelled at or screamed at or sworn at. And he built a culture where you didn't feel like you had any other options. where he would basically be like, if you try to get a job somewhere else, I'm gonna blacklist you, right? So this guy just does a completely freaking whack job, and it's like, man, he really gave Made in America a really bad rap, like a really bad rap. It's just such a strange thing. And when I think about the culture I've been trying to build for the past decade and a half, it's completely different. It's a culture of there are no bad ideas. Like, there's no bad ideas. I don't care who you are in the company. Like, there's no bad ideas. Nobody's gonna laugh at you or yell at you for bringing an idea to the table. It's a team. It's a team. Like, we cover and move for each other. It's something we've always done from the early days when it was just me and Jill and John and Greg and Jake and Erica, like just a handful of us just stitching at the factory, jumping between machine and machine and just making sure the job gets done. And the work's not over until the work is done, and everybody just kind of understood that. It's also a culture of extreme empathy, and in my business partner's book, Extreme Ownership, such a good book, a world-class leadership book. And I would say that extreme empathy, especially in an environment where Origin is, right, which was a depressed area, and folks didn't have upward trajectory. Before you can even go into extreme ownership, you've got to have extreme empathy to the situation. You're dealing with an environment that is turbulent, right? With people that feel abandoned, drugs and alcohol, physical abuse, emotional abuse, and most of the time it's listening and gaining trust in relationships like that, and building relationships. And that's like really, really, really important. People aren't commodities, and you can't just tell someone to feel a certain way. Well, you should do this, or you should feel this way, or that's not important. Like, human nature, we're creatures, and like there's emotions, and to lead somebody into a culture that they want to be part of forever, like Jill, like you just saw, she's like, Jill, what are you freaking doing in the office? It's your vacation. Leave, go enjoy. She'd rather be here. But to her point, it took years and years and years. Like, she never knew what culture was like until she found it, and she had to, and we had to break down those barriers to get her to understand what we're trying to do. And so, like brand is trust. You gain trust in drips, and you lose it in buckets. And that's with your relationships with people. That's with how you bring your brand and your products to life. Like, you're going to gain it in drips, but if you do something wrong, you lose it in buckets, because everybody wants to tear down something great. Like, everyone, I don't know why this is, but they want to find the flaws. It's funny, I look at like the Instagram posts sometimes, and someone's like, but okay, you're Made in America, but where are your materials from? Right, obviously they haven't done enough research to find out those are from the United States also. It seems so strange to me, because I don't like to find flaws. When I try to look for people, I'm looking for a creative value to my own. I'm looking to expand the brain trust, the shared consciousness, the mind share. It's just really different, and everybody has a gift to give. So I'll tell you what, being a business owner is hard, being an entrepreneur is hard. Life is fucking hard, right? So if you're gonna do it the right way, and don't get caught up in all the bullshit people online on Instagram, telling you what you need to do, and you got all these hype beasts, trying to get you to purchase courses and go spend $1,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. They don't freaking know. Most of these people they aren't really even experts either, because they haven't actually done anything. They haven't really done anything except find a good viral social media campaign that plugs into the algorithm really well. So just also like be discerning around what you're consuming your time with and the content you're consuming your time with as you grow and scale your business. Like I said a few videos ago, there's like a lot of ways to get to the same place, but don't lose your soul getting there.